good morning, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to our daily crypto news podcast. Today's shaping up to be quite the day, with a couple of major stories that could have significant implications for the world of cryptocurrency.
That's right. We've got a bit of a mix of art and politics on our plate today. Let's start with the more unusual story. Rapper Heather Razzlekhan Morgan is dropping new music ahead of her 18-month prison sentence for her role in a multi-billion-dollar Bitcoin heist.
Yeah, this one's a real head-scratcher. Morgan, as some of our listeners might recall, was involved in a massive Bitcoin laundering scheme alongside her husband. But what's really interesting here is how she's choosing to spend her time before heading to prison. Instead of laying low, she's releasing new music and even a music video.
That's right. The new single, Razzlekhan via the United States, is being billed as a Misfits anthem. It's clear that Morgan is trying to make a statement here and perhaps even use her music as a way to rebrand herself ahead of her prison sentence.
And it's not like this is her first foray into the world of music either. Morgan has been releasing music under the Razzlekhan moniker for a while now, and she's built up a bit of a following. But you have to wonder, is this all just a publicity stunt? Or is she genuinely trying to make a name for herself in the music world?
Well, we'll have to wait and see how the music is received, I suppose. But in the meantime, let's shift gears to some more serious news. Donald Trump, the pro-crypto president-elect, has just lost a major Supreme Court bid to skirt sentencing in New York.
Yeah, this is a big one. Trump's team had filed an emergency appeal to try and halt the sentencing, but the Supreme Court denied it. This means that the hearing will proceed as scheduled just 10 days before Trump's inauguration.
And this could have some major implications for Trump's presidency, not to mention the wider world of cryptocurrency. As our listeners know, Trump has been a vocal supporter of crypto, and his policies could have a significant impact on the market.
Exactly. So we'll be keeping a close eye on this story as it develops. And throughout the episode, we'll be exploring some of the other themes that are emerging here, from the intersection of art and crypto to the potential implications of Trump's presidency for the world of cryptocurrency.
I think it's interesting how our previous discussion on regulatory clarity is playing out in real time, especially with developments in the United States.
Absolutely. And it seems the Biden administration is making some last-minute moves that could significantly impact the crypto space. A recent interpretive rule by the administration is targeting crypto wallet makers such as MetaMask and Phantom.
Building on what we discussed earlier about regulatory oversight, this move seems to be an attempt to bring these wallet makers under the Electronic Funds Transfer Act, or EFTA. What are the implications of this
Well, if this rule is enforced, it would essentially require crypto wallet makers to follow the same regulations as traditional electronic fund transfers. The administration claims this is to protect consumers and maintain a level playing field.
But isn't this also a sign of the administration trying to exert control over the crypto space before the end of their term? I mean, it's an 11-hour move.
That's what many in the crypto community are saying. Bill Hughes, a prominent figure in the space, has already spoken out against this move, saying it needs to be undone right away when the new administration takes over.
Speaking of individuals making headlines in the crypto space, Heather Morgan, also known as Razzlekhan, has released a new music video as she prepares for prison. For those who may not be familiar, can you remind us of her story?
Morgan was convicted of laundering crypto funds from the Bitfinex hack, which would now be worth around $11 billion. She's set to serve an 18-month sentence and has been using her music to express herself throughout the ordeal.
And this new video, Razzlekhan vs. the United States, seems to be a reflection of her thoughts on the situation. It's interesting to see how she's using her platform to tell her side of the story.
It's certainly a unique approach, and her music has gained a following. But it also highlights the consequences of being involved in illicit activities in the crypto space. As we've discussed before, regulators are cracking down on these types of activities, and individuals like Morgan are facing the repercussions.
It's a complex and ever-evolving space, and we'll continue to follow these developments and bring you updates as more information becomes available.
And we'd love to hear from our listeners. What are your thoughts on these recent developments? Share your thoughts with us on social media, and we might discuss them in a future episode.
We were just discussing the volatile nature of cryptocurrency markets, and I think our next story perfectly encapsulates that. Bitcoin has been on a tear lately, registering 14 consecutive green hourly candles the longest streak since 2017.
That's right. According to K33 Research, this type of price action is extremely rare, having only occurred a few times since 2017. And if you look at the BTC USD pair on Coinbase on a 1-hour time frame, you can see that this pattern started on January 9th at 9 p.m. GMT and continued until January 10th at 11 a.m.
What's interesting is that many traders were caught off guard by this sudden surge. I mean, if you look at the candlesticks, it's clear that the price action was quite unusual. But what's driving this momentum? Is it just a case of FOMO, or is there something more fundamental at play?
Well, it's hard to say for sure, but I think it's worth noting that this type of price action often occurs when there's a significant shift in market sentiment. Perhaps investors are becoming more optimistic about the future of Bitcoin, or maybe there's just a lot of pent-up demand that's finally being released.
Speaking of market sentiment, I came across a fascinating tweet from Adam at Adam_take about the pump fund traders on Solana. Apparently, only 0.4% of traders have made more than $10,000 on these meme coins.
Yeah, that's a pretty sobering statistic. And if you dig deeper, you'll see that the graduation rate for pump fund traders actually fell from 1.4% in November to an all-time low in December. It's clear that chasing these meme coins is a high-risk, high-reward strategy that's not paying off for most people.
I think this highlights the importance of doing your own research and not getting caught up in FOMO. It's easy to get swept up in the hype surrounding certain coins or tokens, but at the end of the day, it's crucial to have a solid understanding of the underlying fundamentals.
Absolutely. And I think it's also worth noting that this type of data can be a valuable tool for investors. By looking at the actual performance of traders, we can gain a more nuanced understanding of the market and make more informed decisions.
Building on what we discussed earlier, it's clear that cryptocurrency markets are inherently unpredictable. But by staying informed and doing our due diligence, we can navigate these markets with more confidence and make smarter investment decisions.
Yesterday, we discussed the increasing scrutiny of regulators on cryptocurrency exchanges globally. It seems that trend is continuing, with Bybit announcing that it will temporarily halt its crypto trading services in India.
That's right. The Dubai-based exchange cited regulatory reasons for the suspension, which will take effect on Sunday. I think it's worth noting that Bybit hopes to finalize the necessary paperwork and be back online within weeks.
This development is yet another example of how regulatory environments are shifting rapidly in various countries. India, in particular, has been tightening its grip on cryptocurrency trading. It's crucial for exchanges to stay on top of these changing regulations to avoid any potential issues.
Absolutely. Bybit's move might be seen as a precautionary measure to ensure compliance and protect its customers in India. It's also a reflection of the broader challenges that cryptocurrency exchanges face in navigating the complex and often fragmented regulatory landscape.
Building on what we discussed earlier about the market's reaction to regulatory news, it will be interesting to see how this development affects Bitcoin's price. We've seen some bargain hunting in recent days, but the upcoming jobs report could be a significant test for the cryptocurrency.
That's right. The jobs report is always a critical indicator of the overall health of the economy, and its impact on the crypto market can be substantial. If the report shows a stronger than expected labor market, it could bolster investor confidence and potentially drive up Bitcoin's price.
Speaking of investor confidence, do you think the temporary suspension of Bybit's services in India will have a lasting impact on the exchange's reputation?
It's possible that some users might view this as a negative development, but it's also worth considering that Bybit is taking proactive steps to ensure compliance with regulations in the long run. This could actually enhance the exchange's reputation as a responsible and law-abiding player in the industry.
That's a fair point. As the regulatory environment continues to evolve, it's essential for exchanges like Bybit to prioritize compliance and transparency. This might be a short-term setback, but it could ultimately contribute to the long-term growth and maturation of the cryptocurrency market.
Agree. And as we move forward, it will be crucial to keep an eye on regulatory developments and their impact on the market. We'll continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as more information becomes available.
As we wrap up today's episode, I want to revisit our earlier discussion on Plural Energy's innovative approach to funding mid-sized green assets through tokenization. It's fascinating to see how they're bridging the gap between the renewable energy sector and the crypto ecosystem.
Absolutely. And what I find particularly interesting is their hyper-selective due diligence process, where only 5% of deals make the cut. This level of scrutiny is crucial in ensuring the quality of the tokenized assets and ultimately the success of their platform.
That's right. And as we mentioned earlier, the potential applications of these tokenized securities are vast. Imagine being able to use them as collateral in DeFi or even integrating them into other areas of the crypto space. It's a game changer for the industry.
Now let's shift gears to something a bit more lighthearted. We touched on the Telegram game Zoo, which has been making waves in the crypto community. For those who might have missed it, Zoo is a zoo building and management simulation where players can earn rewards and resources that will eventually be redeemable for an upcoming token airdrop.
That's right. And with the mining phase ending on January 31, players need to act fast to maximize their progress. We've got the daily Riddle and Rebus solutions for January 10 available on our website, so be sure to check those out if you're playing along.
What I find intriguing about Zoo is its potential to onboard new users into the crypto space. By leveraging a gamified experience, they're making it more accessible and engaging for people who might not have been interested in crypto otherwise.
Agreed. And as we've seen with other successful crypto games, the key to success lies in creating a seamless user experience that balances entertainment with educational value. If Zoo can achieve that, it could be a major player in the crypto gaming space.
As we close out today's episode, what are your key takeaways from the stories we covered?
For me, it's the growing intersection of crypto and traditional industries, as seen with Plural Energy's tokenization of green assets. Additionally, the rise of crypto games like Zoo highlights the importance of user experience and onboarding in driving adoption.
I'd add that the market is showing signs of resilience despite the recent downturn. As we look ahead, it's essential to keep an eye on these emerging trends and innovations that are shaping the future of the crypto ecosystem.
And finally, what's your market outlook for the coming week?
I'm cautiously optimistic given the recent uptick in market sentiment. However, it's crucial to remain vigilant and adapt to changing market conditions. As always, we'll be keeping a close eye on developments and bringing you the latest insights and analysis.
That's all for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.